Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this Safe Long series. In this series, we're going to go over stocks that are safe to buy and hold for the next 5 to 10 years, and you can get a decent return just sitting on the position without having to constantly keep track of anything. So we're going to go over MAGs and the rest of the stocks here on my watch list. So MAGs, we go to the quarterly chart. This stock just continues to go up. Gold continues to go up. Nvidia continues to go up. QQQ, you can see it just continues to go up on the quarterly chart. VU, SPY, VTI, SMH, all of these on my watch list. The quantum ETF here, if you want quantum exposure, they all continue to do what? They continue to go higher. And because they continue to go higher, they continue to give you a net percentage return over the long term. You can hold for 5 years and you're gonna make money. Why? Because we know it just continues to go up. And that's why you have a watch list here of 9 stocks / ETFs that just continue to print money for the people that have the patience and discipline to buy and hold them and not flip them for a couple dollars. Quantum, if you want quantum exposure, quantum ETF, buy it. I think this is probably the one with the biggest opportunity, right? People are going to say, oh, an ETF can't go hundreds of dollars. Well, yeah, it can. SMH at one point was at $11. Now it's at, hit a high of 281. So anyone tell you that ETFs are worthless, that they can't make big moves, that's wrong. They in 5 to 10 years, they can make easily 10x plus. But most people aren't thinking 10 years. They want 10x tomorrow. So I'm just showing you, quantum right now, that ETF is still cheap relative to where it will be in the future, in my opinion. Again, it just continues to go up. You can't argue with that data because I just showed you it literally continues to go up. So the cheapest one here is MAGs, which gives you exposure to the Magnificent 7, Tesla, Microsoft, all those other ones. But MAGs, unfortunately, moves a little bit slower relative to the quantum ETF and some of the other ones in here. But if you want to have 7 ETFs, and not ETFs, 7 stocks in one ETF without having to buy each one individually, this is the way to go. And you can see, we'll grab our date and range tool here, and from low to high, a nice 133% return over the course of, over the course of 823 days. So what, 3 years about, almost? Less than 3 years. So in less than 3 years, you could have made 133% just sitting on the position and holding it. MAGs, safe but slow mover, so don't expect to make much over the long term holding it for 5 to 10 years. But you'll still make quite a bit of money. But you'll make more probably holding something like gold, right? We'll look at gold. If you had bought this one, let's say in 2015 and held till now, you would be up 196%. Gold is very reliable. Again, we're looking for reliability, consistency, and just making money doing as little as possible, just literally buying, sitting on the position. Nvidia, if you bought Nvidia, let's go back to, 2020, you would have made potentially, that's insane. If you had held it for 5 years, you could have made, look at that, almost 9,000% from low to high. Even if you only capture a percentage of that. Let's just say you sell at the low here and you bought somewhere up here, you still could have captured a nice 231%. So it really depends on when you sell, not so much where you buy and how long you hold it. Obviously, if you've been holding it for 10 years, if you've been holding it since 2015, you would have made a ridiculous amount of money. You would have made, let me see, let me zoom in. Let's bring it down. There we go. So if you had bought this way back when, yeah, you would have made a ridiculous sum. You would have made well over 15,000% if you bought 10 years ago. So I'm thinking right now 5 to 10 years. If you got 5 to 10 years ahead of you, like you just want to start accumulating and holding it specifically for 2030, 2035. Nvidia, as you just saw, gives way more return compared to MAGs or gold. So it's really up to you what you want to choose and what kind of exposure do you want. Do you want gold exposure? Do you want exposure to the Magnificent 7 without having to buy each one? Do you want tech exposure, chip exposure via Nvidia? Do you just want total stock market exposure via SPY, VU, or you can buy QQQ as well? These three over the course of 5 to 10 years, the returns are going to be much less, right? If we look at 2020 to the high, the return was only 136%. If you held for 10 years, let me see, where's 2015? You would have made, let's say from low to high, 471%. So yeah, it's funny, right? The more time that goes by, the more you end up making. But some are just going to bring you less than others. NVIDIA right now, though, is the one that's been bringing in the big bucks, as I just showed you. VU, I'm not going to go over it because it's pretty much the same story as the other one. Over the course of 5 to 10 years, it'll bring you an, you'll make money, right? Because it just keeps going up, but it's just going to be so much less compared to NVIDIA, as I just showed you. So VTI, I think that's the total stock market index. Yep, total stock market index. So if you just want exposure to the entire stock market and not have to pick anything, you don't have to pick stocks. Guess what? You just got everything. Screw it. If you believe in America and you don't want to bet against America, you just buy this. Literally, just buy this total stock market index. If you bought it in 2020 and sold it today, I mean 169%. So. Again, it's not about how much you make, it's about the fact that it's consistent, because it just keeps going up. Some people are never going to see 169% return. And if they do, they took a lot of risk, probably because they bought something garbage, because these stocks aren't just going to go 169% in one day. There are stocks that can do that, but again, super risky, and most people, you know how they are. They go all in, so. Let's look at SMH here. If you bought 5 years ago, you could have made 441%. Even if you sold it today, let's say, you would have made 367%. And then you could, wait another 5 years and maybe you would have made more. If you bought it back in 2015, SMH is semiconductor ETF. So if you don't want to buy NVIDIA and you just want exposure to the entire semiconductor sector, you can just buy SMH and not have to pick one individual stock. But yeah, over the course of since 2015 until now, you could have sold it, let's say at the top, for 10x. Or maybe you could have sold it today for 8.7x. So that is the power of just buying an ETF or stock and holding it for 5 to 10 years. Again, these are stocks, ETFs, that do what? They continue to go higher. They have a history of going higher. So it's just hard to lose. That's how you make the big bucks. That's how you really appreciate how your account grows. Unless you get lucky and find a 10x somewhere along the way in the next 5 to 10 years. Which could happen. I mean, Palantir, a lot of people made a lot of money buying it under 10 and selling it at 100 plus. But again, that didn't happen overnight. It took almost like a year plus for Palantir to make that move from a low of 5 to 125. And the quantum ETF, if you bought in 2020 and held it till now, you would be up 326%. So it's up to you which one you want to buy. I'm just giving you the ones that I like. Personally, I'm mainly going into NVIDIA, MAGs, and maybe I'm thinking the quantum ETF as well. That's about it. The other ones, they all go up. They continue to go up, but the quantum ETF, I want that quantum exposure without having to pick the individual stocks. And number one, and number two, NVIDIA, just, the percent return over the course of 5 to 10 years is insane. And number three, MAGs, it's a slow mover, and I only expect to make like 100% to 200% over the course of the next 5 years. But it's, again, it's about that reliability. And it's the cheaper one out of all these. Anyways, not that cheap means anything. But all of these are winners. It's up to you which one you want to pick. NVIDIA is going to give you the biggest net return if it continues to go up. Quantum, if you want the quantum exposure, and of course total stock market exposure, you can just buy the VTI. Or if you don't want to pick individual semiconductors, just buy the ETF. So plenty to choose from. Again, if you got 5 to 10 years ahead. If you're gonna die tomorrow, maybe not.